Do you want to know what happens when a defendant is disrespectful in the courtroom? You will be surprised to know. 15. Russell and Wayne County judges were hearing a domestic violence lawsuit filed by a husband against his ex-wife, Melissa. The ex-wife, Melissa, was once served with mental inquest warrants. Melissa used vulgar words in the court of law, interrupting an exchange between her ex-husband and the judge. The judge immediately issued a 10-day arrest warrant for court misbehaviour. Melissa leapt onto the judge's table, attempting to capture her. The cops arrived and took her into custody. She was moved to a rehabilitation institution after completing 5 months in jail. 14. Tobias Roman, a 27-year-old, was charged with robbery, public display of a lethal weapon and threatening with intent to terrorise after stalking a female employee in a store. The judge asked him a question. "Mr. Roman, is your truth correct, man?" This angered the defendant. "Tobias is my first name, that's it. Giggles or Tobias." The judge ordered the defendant to keep quiet, but he didn't. "Want to talk? Go ahead." As he was asked to leave, Tobias threatened the judge, "I am going to murder you when I see you." He was sentenced to 8 months in prison for intimidating the judge. Altogether, he got to spend 3 years in prison. 13. Christopher Cullen arrived for his bond hearing via video call. Judge John Hurley was unhappy to see Cullen since he recognised him from the prior trial. Because of this, the judge was reluctant to grant him bond. When the judge asserted his decision, Cullen became agitated. He even used foul language. Cullen then rushed out of the court. Cullen refused to keep his mouth shut and was sentenced to 364 days in Broward County Jail. He was also charged with inappropriate behaviour in court. Anyways, he afterwards apologised. 12. Kimberly Kessler has been charged with murdering a co-worker. Her court appearances were always violent. She was rude and denied all of the charges. In any scenario, the judge has to fulfill his responsibilities. Kimberly Kessler was sentenced to life in prison, sans the possibility of release after being charged with first-degree murder. 11. Spencer Allen Boston, 20, appears in court on several allegations. He had been charged with speeding at a halt sign 2 months ago. Boston was also carrying marijuana with him. During the trial, he was asking the court to make marijuana legal. Boston was attempting to take out something from his jacket's inner pocket. Then he smoked a joint inside the courtroom. "Take him to jail," the judge ordered. So, in addition to the preceding 2 accusations, he has been charged with contempt of court and disorderly behaviour. 10. Jesse Ross was a former rugby player who created a menace in a bar. When he got his penalty, he became enraged and created chaos inside the courtroom. 9. TJ Lane, the Chardon school shooter, was wearing a t-shirt with the word killer written across it. As he was sentenced to 3 life terms, this youth cursed and made foul gestures. 8. Sherry Lynn was accused of criminal battery and violently resisting arrest. Lynn was not in the mood for judicial proceedings. The lady had no intention to speak politely to the public prosecutor. During the trial, the judge also advised Lynn to avoid Cynthia Cuba because she was the one who brought the charges against Lynn. Lynn began cursing Cynthia and using foul language out of nowhere. The judge added the dollars whenever Lynn abused. The fine was eventually lowered to $50 and she was directed to undergo a psychological evaluation. 7. Sydney Newsome, accused of domestic violence, is detained and waits in front of Judge Aubrey Rhymes. After the verdict was made, he assaulted the judge violently. He even grabbed a phone and hurled it at the judge. Finally, Judge Rhymes pinned the defendant down. 6. In February 2022, Taylor Shabusiness, 25, was charged with first-degree murder with intent, destroying a corpse, and third-degree sexual abuse in the murder of Shad Tyrone, 25. She confronted her attorney during a hearing after Walsh agreed to her lawyer's request for another 2 weeks for a defence expert to examine her competency. 5. Bass Webb got a sentence of 37 years for some crime in 2009. Following that, a 2003 murder case arose for which he received a 50-year sentence. Webb wasn't comfortable and did not stand when the judge requested him to do so. 4. Michael Ray was bailed for $25,000 for just trespassing. He laughed at it and acted disrespectfully. As a result, the bail was raised to $50,000. Soon he lost all his discipline and even gave the judge his middle finger. Hence, the judge sentenced him to 30 days in jail. When he continued his reckless attitude, she made it from 30 to 100 days. Oof. 3. I should have killed you, bitch. This is what Jeremy Christian told the judge once his sentence was ordered. The man stabbed and killed 2 persons while injuring a third, and he got 2 consecutive life sentences. 2. Eileen Wernos, America's first female serial killer, assassinated men who raped or tried to rape her. Wernos felt outrage once her offences were convicted. She abused the judge, yelling at the jury after being sentenced to death. She called the jury members scumbags and threatened the judge with another murder. 1. Brooks drove his SUV through a crowded Christmas procession, taking lives. In court, he took the ill-devised decision to act as his own defence attorney, as it was clear that his attitude in the courtroom was highly uncomfortable. Later, Brooks was sentenced to 6 life sentences and a further 700 years in prison. Like the video and leave a comment. Also subscribe to our channel for more surprising content. Bye!